Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. So, as you can see, it is a Dark Elf game. This was sent in by GodOfGobboz. He's up against Sota, who is he's in the top 100, certainly. They're both very good players, these, so this is a fun game. I really like this one. So, as you can see, Bleak Swords in the front line, Dread Spears, a lot of chevrons too, a lot of chevrons on the Dread Spears. Pretty great melee defense because of it. 47, they're going to hold pretty damn well. Certainly against things like Eternal Guard and I mean mainly just Eternal Guard, to be honest. But the Silver Shields are also a huge boon, huge boon, which is awesome. He's also got these Reaper Bolt Throwers, which you don't often see, these brought in big numbers. Two of them is pretty cool. So he's going to have these mainly on Scattershot for dealing with sort of the light armored units of the Wood Elves, so it should be cool to see that in action. Also, a ton of Cold One Knights, so many of them. So he's expecting a lot of cavalry play here, and he wants some more maneuverability, because these guys will be able to outrun any of the archers. So that's pretty great. I mean, if we look at their stats, they've got bronze shields, which will help them a bit, but also they'll be very good for, hunting down lords and things like that. So, pretty cool. Also, quite good endurance against trees, actually, with the Reaper Bolt Throwers doing some initial damage. The armor piercing and the anti-large should definitely help against that kind of build as well. But it's a competitive game here, them both being good players. They're bringing their A game, so probably going to be Way Watchers, right? Anyway, so here, Witch Elves. Witch Elves are fantastic, really good anti-infantry, but also that rampage mechanic is huge. And frankly, although they're anti-infantry, they still hit really hard, and they still have great melee attack. So even against the lightly armoured cavalry of the Wood Elves, if these guys can catch them, they are going to rip them to shreds with very little support. It's going to be very cost effective. So that's very cool. So also Malekith. So Malekith, obviously, just total champ, but definitely more vulnerable on a dragon to Wood Elf play. So having him on a cold one, I think, is pretty damn useful, and it saves you a lot of money. So it means you can go wider, which is awesome. So because you definitely want to go wide against Wood Elves, just give them more stuff to shoot at, and they'll waste their ammo. You can outlast them. Just have more bodies than they have arrows, and you tend to do better. So over here, yes, something has fled. Yeah, there were some Dark Riders vanguarded, and they've just been completely overwhelmed by the Sister Thorn and the Wild Riders. But they're quite cheap, and it is worth trying it, because as you can see over here, he's tried and gone away with it. More Dark Riders. So these guys can be able to get in the back line. They can be very useful. So speaking of back lines, speaking of any lines, speaking of Wood Elves, Way Watchers. Didn't I tell you there'd be Way Watchers? Yeah. Although I have seen this replay before, because I wanted to know what was happening. But still, Way Watchers, pretty standard for a competitive Wood Elf pick these days. So Glade Lord. Again, Prayer of Alathramer, it just lets you get even more value out of the Way Watchers. That missile, stopping something from moving, you can hit it more, and also it lowers missile resistance, so you're going to do even more damage. So, pretty terrifying, pretty terrifying combo, the Glady and the two Way Watchers. Also some Hagbane tips, so more poison with these guys, so you can, help control the pace of the enemy, which is pretty cool. Also some Eternal Guard to help, help guard these guys for the moment, and some Dryads for some damage dealing, which is pretty cool. You don't often see a lot of Dryads in competitive picks, so that's kind of cool. I like that. Also, Spellsinger Life, keep everything healed, and yeah, you can have a better time with things. So let's speed things up finally. So straight away, obviously you can see the Glade Lord is getting shot at. Dark Riders are dead already. That's a pity. So yeah, they're not coming back. They're not coming back, guys. So as you can see, early damage. Early damage is good, but you can't see the Way Watchers. He's not going to move up because there could be anything here. He doesn't want to fight uphill just because, he's not moving. He's going to wait this out. He's got the range advantage for now. And, as soon as he loses the range advantage, it's going to be because the Way Watchers have, revealed where they are. So that's pretty great. So, at the moment, a bit of moving. Are they going to move? Ooh, dunno. So there's going to be two prongs, basically. There's a very solid, solid front line. Witch Elves mean that anything big can't sneak in, because it could just get caught out straight away, which is too scary. So, this will hold. So, it's going to be the flanks, where the action is going to happen. So, it should be interesting. So, here, these Way Watchers, I think, have revealed themselves. Yeah, so they did actually shoot into Dread Spears, which is great, just a waste of ammo, honestly. But now they're aiming for the Reaper Bolt Thrower, and now that they're getting shot at, GodOfGobboz knows he needs to move to start pushing this stuff off, or else he's going to lose all his crew before he can get value. But he's getting some damage to the Way Watchers. These guys going to be getting, some damage into these Way Watchers, and now he's going to start applying pressure. So he sees the Sister Thorn coming in, so he's going to try and chase them off a bit. And, he can keep chasing, get into his back line, scare stuff, so you'll see very soon the Way Watchers are going to change target to the cold ones that he knows he can outrun. over on this side, Dread Spears, you know, pinning down these Eternal Guard, which is good, because you don't want Spearmen available on this side when you've got all these Cold One Knights. You want to make use of these guys. So, unfortunately though, it's Bleak Swords right on the edge, so it would have been nice to have more Spears because of the Wild Riders here. But, you know, they're formidable. So, they'll do, right? They'll bonk things down a bit, don't worry about it. So, Cold War Knights coming in for the Way Watchers, and while they're running, they're just shooting at any old nonsense. So they're wasting ammo as they're running away, because they're no longer targeting the Reaper Bolt Throw. So the Bolt Throw can now start shooting at whatever it wants again. So that's excellent. So you can see here, a load of damage on these two Glade Guard, because they're actually really bunched together. You get these great raking shots down their line. So that is perfect. Reaper Bolt Throws really paying for themselves now. So that's really cool. So over here you can see stuff getting bogged down, you know, a load of anti-large in here. The Dark Riders now springing their ambush. Now that this stuff's distracted, he can run in here safely and get the Way Watchers. So here I think we're going to see a Soul Stealer in a second. But also, this is a genius play here, using the Prey of Anathema defensively to keep the Way Watchers alive. Very cool. Because frankly, you're not about to capitalise on a Prey of Anathema with your ranged units if your ranged units are dead. So, well worth it. So here, there's that Soul Stealer. Unfortunately, you know, the Wood Elf player here was able to split his stuff up. But his Life Mage has been caught out horribly. That is a huge coup. You know, the Wood Elf player not being able to heal anymore? That's massive. So there you go, shattered. Amazing. So here, unfortunately, the Wild Riders, being so much quicker than the Cold Ones, did manage to sneak in here and get onto the Reaper Bolt Throwers. And the Witch Elves have already started running into the mix to deal with this stuff, knowing that if he stays put too long, his infantry is just going to get recharged and charged and, you know, well, ruined while he stood idle. So, you know, he moved in, and rightly so, the Wood Elf player went, "This is free now," and ran in. But he looks like the Wild Riders got a bit caught up on the actual artillery and ended up getting gunned down. Well, not gunned, lanced, I suppose. Anyway. So these Eternal Guard getting surrounded, pretty neck and neck between the Dread Spears and the Eternal Guard. I think they're quite similar cost with the two chevrons, so it actually makes perfect sense. So here Dark Riders did come back, so they're charging into the Way Watchers once more. Malekith trying to chase down these Glade Lords, and as you can see the Wild Riders in that fight got caught out by the Witch Elves, so they are completely messed up, so that's great. Here, once again, these guys just getting shot in the flank by the Way Watchers, which is rough. And, yeah, this is not good. The Reaper Bolt Thrower now actually focusing on the Sisters of Thorn, because you want to whittle them down. They're just such a pain. They're very formidable, the Sisters of Thorn. So, over on this side now, you know, Malekith over here, you know, with this other big mob of units. It's just basically finishing off that front line. A load of the, you know, ranged units here are completely decimated. So, you know, he's just trying to polish things off that are nearby, using that overwhelming strength. Because otherwise he's going to be chasing the whole time, and all the front line is going to end in a stalemate, and we'll run out of units. So, good move to suddenly change and decide he's scared stuff off, now let's just shut down that front line. So, Sisters of Thorn came back in, they're still getting shot from point blank range. Amazingly, the bolt throwers. Oh no, they did hit. Okay, not bad, not bad. So Dread Spears coming in, try and kill them. That's going to help. Dread Spears pretty good at killing large things. You know, being anti-large. So that's great. Unfortunately, the Way Watchers have been very good to just focus down Cold One Knights during all this anarchy. So you can see both of these Cold One Knights are now completely decimated. So here, beautiful Gaze of Malice, that's going to get some good damage, and it's going to knock them over, so they're not firing if they're on the floor. So that's great. So Dread Spears trying to catch up. They're taking, you know, taking one for the team here, taking all these expensive arrows in their shields, so that's great. Over on this side, you know, Witch Elves coming. Witch Elves catch these guys, they're going to have a terrible time of things. But we're going to see something interesting here. So we're going to see here, Curse of Anrahir. Not used for the melee attack debuff, so not used to defend the front line. No, it's used to slow things down. It's just another slow that he can have for free, because, you know, Sisters of Thorn. So that's really cool. But GodOfGobboz is also tricksy. He slows down the Way Watchers. Now both these guys are slowed, and the Witch Elves will be able to catch up eventually, hopefully. So interesting. So anyway, Dread Spears here, trying to deal with these Wild Riders, but Sisters of Thorn charging in the rear. These guys just can't hold up against that much, you know, strength being so injured. So over here, Way Watchers still trying to get caught out. Actually, they're about to run out of ammo. So at this point, you probably ignore them. Go for these guys. These guys have more ammo, and they're about to shatter by the looks of it. I mean, they're completely just. There's only 16 left, and they have almost no health. So I'd go for them, honestly. Ignore the Way Watchers. They're going to run out of ammo. Yep, now they've lost most of their efficiency. So here, again, these guys have so much ammunition, so he hit them, which is great. Dark Riders coming in to help break these guys. So that is amazing, because look at that ammunition wasted. So that is perfect. So great play by GodOfGobboz there to deal with them. But this is tough. You know, at this point in the game, when you've got such little amount of stuff to defend Malekith, a Flying Lord is just huge in this matchup. So here you can see the Witch Elves now dealt with that stuff over there, and now they're being kited a bit by the Scissor Thorn, which is a real pity. But Scissor Thorn also almost out of ammo, but they still have enough to get a lot of damage in, and these Hagbane tips are going to turn around in a second. So that's very scary. At this point, it might be worth Malekith to have charged into here, and maybe tried to avoid a charge from the, Glade Lord, because that would have been rough. But anyway, the Witch Elves could have already caught up while the Glade Lord was down here. Malekith could have run around a bit. I don't know. But that has ammunition. Get rid of it. So here, Dark Rider's very injured, still chasing off these Glade Guards. That's great. So over here, Way Watcher's still getting dealt with. I mean, now he does have enough stuff nearby that he may as well just deal with this stuff, right? So over here, these Wild Riders, I don't know if they got chased off or they ran off, but anyway, there's still some spearmen and some artillery crew. So that's great to see, some artillery crew getting into the action. That's how desperate things have become. Way over here, Bleak Swords have been trying to deal with, all these little haggard dryads. So it helps get the, balance of power shifting in Gobbo's favour. So, sorry, God of Gobbo's favour. Not to be confused with the Gobbo King. Whole different thing, guys. But you should definitely, keep asking both of them if they're the other one. I think they enjoy it. So anyway, here, brilliant move. So Malekith pinned with the Prey of Anthraema. It splits up the combat, So few units. It just means that the dragon can come in, get massive damage on a load of this stuff, and Malekith can't do anything to help. So that is massive. Also, a cheeky bow shot there into Malekith. Way Watchers, they're just coming in for a scuffle now, might as well. Beautiful chill wind, though, does manage to break this infantry. So here it's anti-large against Sister Thorn, which is pretty good, but this is very injured, and the dragon's going to just kill a model at a time there. It's going to be scary. So this isn't looking great for the Dark Elves right now, but he does have spearmen. He does have spearmen, he does have anti-large, it can help against this remaining cavalry. So there's more cavalry coming in here, still rampaged by the Witch Elves that they just polished off. But, I mean, look how injured these guys are. Only 9, you can barely see any health on them. So, yeah, this is looking a bit iffy, though. Just the advantage of having a Flying Lord here is going to count for a lot. It's going to count for a hell of a lot. It's worth more than gold. Just having a Flying Lord at this stage in the battle, where there's just no maneuverability. Just having something that can just pick what it's going to kill next, it's very scary indeed. No missile pressure, no Witch Elves, so if he does land, he can take off again. It's just, you can't limit the Glade Lord's ability to do much at this point of the game, so that's scary. So here, Malekith tries to take the charge of the Wild Riders just to shut them down quickly. Well, I assume, because frankly, these guys are going to be the thing that pins in Malekith and gets him killed. But they didn't break all that quickly, and it looks like Malekith is going to get himself killed. So more cavalry coming in to bog this stuff down, and Malekith just can't get away from this. There's nothing in his way, but he just can't move. So it's not good. It's not good. So not good that he just got char-grilled by that breath attack. Yeah, that's a dead Malekith, and I don't think these guys are really going to bother much after that. Yeah. Valiant defeat. So GodOfGobboz, well, GodOfGobboz, apparently. Typo, I imagine. GodOfGobboz. Yeah, you can send me a win if you like. You always seem to be sending me losses. They're always great games, so thank you for the content. But, I know you're a good player. You can send me a win. I won't mind. It's not show-offy. It's fine. But, great game. Really great game. I love both the builds here. The Wood Elf one, fairly traditional. I think it's, fairly on meta. The Dryads were an interesting inclusion. I wasn't expecting Dryads, honestly. And yeah, all these cold ones, just for all that, counter, all the sort of, counterplay. I mean, Cold One Knights, they're a lot slower, but they're very defensive, they're very stocky. And they got, they can do a lot of damage. So I really like it. They're really good, a lot of mass for like penning in lords and things. I think having a load of Cold One Knights, it actually works out pretty well. But it's very rare you see Cold One Knights, So that was definitely a nice change. So that's nice and unexpected. Reaper Bolt Throwers, again, quite unexpected. But actually, against a low armoured faction, the scatter shots, they can get some good damage in. I mean, you saw how quickly, when they were shooting at the two Hagbane tips that had got, sort of caught up, on top of each other. Just that damage, just huge. It just completely shut these guys down. And you can see, look, 4 and 19, got no value from these guys. So that was really cool to see. Sister Thorn just had an absolute whale of a time, and yeah, with their buffs and debuffs, and yeah, just being able to outrun literally anything on the battlefield. It made them really, really good. Wild Riders, they got caught out a lot. There was so much pressure on these Wild Riders. But even with the Way Watchers having equally as much pressure on them, they still managed to get 70 and 66 kills. But that's actually quite a lot of kills. Way Watchers, you kind of want them to have very few kills, just expensive things. So, you know, Lords and Heroes, for instance. But a lot of that was Cold One Knights, you know, so that's pretty scary. Or Cold One Riders. No, Cold One Knights, that's the one. I was getting confused. Anyway, whatever. So, yeah, Way Watchers. You know, quite a few kills there. Pretty scary. But, you know, I was expecting Malekith to just get tanked. Honestly, I was expecting Prey of Anathema and for him to get melted. But no, because that would have left, you know, Sota wide open for all this other nonsense. So, you know, maybe didn't think it was worth the risk. It was definitely refreshing to see. It was very cool fight. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, subscribe. Obviously, don't send me any replays for now, because there's going to be a new patch soon. And I have a backlog. I'm trying to get through them this week, as you might have noticed. But in future, feel free to send me some replays. Should be a lot of fun. And yeah, we'll soon be getting onto the new patch and seeing all the new stuff again. It's going to be so good. So also, thanks for all the kind words. You know, congratulating me on getting third place in the Ever Chosen tournament. Yeah, really cool. Really cool. Lovely to hear from you guys. You guys are awesome. And yeah, I mean, I need to sum this up, don't I? I need to wrap this up. So I'm quite tired and... yeah, I've had a lot of comments today. The whole tournament, you know, being a couple of days ago is all, yeah, it's madness. Anyway, guys, so, as I was saying, comment, like, subscribe, and, yeah, I guess thanks for everything. I'll see you in the next one.